Hey guys, Thomas Leroy here. Well, I tried to get away for a couple of days and I took off driving. I didn't know where I was going, but I went east. And then I somehow, excuse my voice, I feel kind of hoarse this morning. um, I ended up in Virginia, and it is a beautiful state. Kind of a real pleasure to drive through with all these rolling green hills and these medians in between the highways filled with 40, 50, 60 foot tall trees. I mean, it's a real pleasure. Beautiful, beautiful place, it seems like. I've only seen, and that's only from the highway. Today I'm not exactly sure where I'm going. I'm in Williamsburg. I ended up in Williamsburg. And you know what? It looks like there's about way too many things to go see here between Williamsburg and Hampton and everything around. It looks like you could spend a week or two here easy and have plenty, plenty, plenty to see. And if you lived in Virginia, I mean, my gosh, talk about. And you know what else I found out? If there's ever a state that you wanted to go to that has more gospel radio stations than you can imagine, it's Virginia, I think. It seemed like the closer I got to Williamsburg, the more and more. I mean, every station I turned on, it seemed like was one gospel station after another. It was pretty good. I liked it. I was hearing a lot of the same songs. Heard Crowder like 4 or 5 times yesterday. Looks like somebody prayed. For the first 100 miles, it seemed the group from Ohio was still following me. And at the first rest stop, there was a bunch of them. I thought, it's like, well, they're sly, and a couple others. There was one that was extremely elderly, which I could not place. But them with them seemed very familiar. And then there was there was family too. But anyway, went a couple of 100 more miles. And I went about like 100 miles out of my way. I don't know. I was going along and I was like, well, I'm just going to stay on 64 then and see how far I get. And damned if I didn't, well, I'm not going to say that, but darned if I didn't get sidetracked off onto some other. The stupid thing was, the map thing was saying, here, take this route. And I'm like, why? But I took it because it said to. And I got so far on it, and then finally I looked at it, and I picked it, and it was taking me to Roanoke. And that's because at some point I said, well, let's go to Roanoke. We'll make Roanoke our thing, our goal, because it takes us along that same route. And no, I had to double back. And and you know what? The one thing I did notice about yesterday was, the further I got, man, the more tired I was. And I was thinking way back whenever I was under 30, or right around it, I drove like 1,000 miles in one night. No big deal. No, not taking any drugs or anything, just eating, I think I had a bag full of cheeseburgers and plenty of Coca-Cola to go with it. And it kept me going all night long, except to the point where I do remember in that 1,000-mile stretch, there was a point where I woke up in the wrong lane. Thanking God that I did wake up before it went off into the median. After which I did pull over and then sat in the back of a hotel parking lot. I went to this hotel last night. First I went and thought, well, I'm going to stay at some, cheaper type of deal rather than be extravagant. I thought, well, Comfort Inn. And I got there, and they were like, well, we've got lots and lots of groups here, and the only thing we got is the penthouse. That's $165 a night. And I'm like, dang. And I thought, well, how much is the Holiday Inn down the road there? And said, oh, we don't know. But she recommended this place, which is a division or one of the companies of the Hilton group, called Spark. And you know what? It's supposed to have been recently renovated, and the room's nice enough. Everything seems okay. Except, it was cold as a witch's, what, in here, 64 degrees. And I don't know if it ever got a lot higher. And then it turned out that it didn't matter what position you put the shower thing in, you weren't getting hot water. At best, you were getting something that wasn't ice cold. And after all that drive, I was thinking, well, at least I'll get a hot shower, And it just wasn't. But I'm blessed. I recognized there was a few of my helpers here last night, and a few of them around, and some of my black friends. I was real glad to see them, and they were real sweet and nice. I was surprised the other day whenever I went to pick up cigarettes for my friend, that there was ladies there with the septum piercing. And the septum theory, well, if it's one of them, if they've got a bull ring through their nose or whatever. And they were gracious. They were sweet and nice, and I very much appreciated it. So, well, I'm praying about my voice, because I've been having a problem with it for the last few weeks, it seems like, off and on. Not as strong and as clear as I'd like it to be. It seems almost like there's magic against it. And I pray that if anyone is using any magic against my voice, that be reversed and thrown back at them. And my voice be made strong, clear, and clean. Because I plan on singing the praises of the Lord. Guys, thanks so very much for your time and your consideration. Thanks so much for your love and your support. God bless you, and may the sun shine upon you.